I will write on either side as I summarize. So I'll start with some of the don'ts that are apparent from today's class. One is don't use tentative language. Please commit to what you're saying. How can we buy what you're selling and you don't even buy it yourself? Tentative language is words like I think. So please, presenters, speakers, is it I think I will start by saying my name, or you will start by saying your name? Is it I think we can meet tomorrow at 4, or let us meet tomorrow at 4? I think this has to stop, or this has to stop. So commit to it. Drop I think, drop maybe, drop perhaps. Back to Mido, he talks about having to let someone go, because you cannot have somebody in your team who, when you ask them to do something, the response is, I think I might be able to try. Punctuate your speaking with silence. Punctuate your speaking with pauses. So increase your use of silence. We speak fast because we are afraid. People just want to get it over and done with. But that is disengaging to the audience when you are speaking without taking a breath. And from your Ways to Manage Nerves class, you know that breathing is integral to managing your nerves. The faster you breathe, the more the state of emergency you put your body in. So increase your use of silence, aka pauses, to replace your fillers and to also replace your tentative language. Are we there? Also, instead of that, you can use connectives. That's two. Use connectives. Connectives or signposting. Signposts. Instead of saying also, not increase your knowledge base, and also improve your references, and also work on, you can use connectives. These are phrases that you say to move from one idea to the next, to join one line of thought to the next, to tell your audience where you are in your presentation. Examples are having seen that establishing a knowledge base is very important. What should go into that knowledge base? You can have facts and statistics. Nice, you have used the connective to bridge those two ideas. Therefore, having said that, in view of the going, be that as it's made, that notwithstanding, hot on the heels of the just concluded elections, even so, moreover, nevertheless, all those are connectives. Broaden your connective space. How can you present without being committed in body and spirit to your presentation? We need you to exude energy. Passion, like boredom, is contagious. You can never have a bored. Boring is different. That one will take time to work on. Example, saying for me, are boring. But anybody can become interesting. Public speaking is, and I'll put it here, is by and large an act. So just act according to that rule. Just act. So when you send people on the road as to learn how to do driving, you can't have them going, oh my god, oh, they can't do that. They've got to act confident, otherwise they'll never learn. Act as if you have control. And as you act and act, it becomes second nature. So if something happens, like something drops, then the mind is jogged off balance. So you might have to act because you are not born a speaker, you're not born a presenter. Being in front of people is by and large a show. That's why it's called a presentation. Kaching, those are called responses or call-outs. You can put that into your presentation. My kaching kaboom has worked very well for me. Every time I say kaching kaboom, kaboom kaching, I get the audience to interact with me. Other call-outs you can have, Like my chemistry teacher, he'll do an equation and then say, and life becomes, and we all say, very easy. And we did very well in chemistry. I, for one, I thought chemistry was impossible. But with this new teacher, life became very easy. So we have said, so the placement, this is branding. Where will you have your logo? Where do you have your business cards? It's very disengaging to keep telling the audience, I did not bring any business cards, but don't worry. Please write it down. Just open a place in your book, just at the back. Just, can you cut for a piece of paper? It's very disengaging. You want to have your business cards. None of that. And so if you want anything more, please go to our website. That is not what websites are for. Books, the end, that is not part of your presentation. So do not put courtesies, common courtesies, if you like, on your PowerPoint presentation. Use that as part of your branding. That last slide should have the take-home message. It could be a slogan, that website, a phone number, and it has to be legible. It has to be legible. Whether it's on your chart, some of us have got very little writings on the chart. We can't see them. Some of you are doing it for yourself. And for the slides, the text, the font size is so little because you're trying to squeeze in as much from Word as possible. And somebody at the end did a good job. They didn't have thank you. They had their contacts. But they had all the contacts possible. Yes. Here is, don't close with Q&A. Don't close with Q&A. I'll explain. When you get to the end of your presentation, and you say, and therefore, for instance, it's not about what you say, but about how you say it. I'll call it, have a burger structure. Burger structure. On the top, you have your body and your question and answers, as well as announcements are part of the body, and then you have your close. And then that's where you bring the next slide for the closing. A closing is not question and answer session. The only time you can do that is when you're a panel of presenters and they would like to take questions for the entire panel. So in that, you need to build up on your jokes. You can close with statistics, so you need to work on your statistics that you know. You can close with facts and figures. You can open or close with a story. You have story there. A story or anecdote. But the closing is the premise of the speaker, not the audience. Not the audience. So, have you seen how lawyers work on their closing? The closing is very big. The closing is very big. Even for one-on-one, you make your presentation, then ask the client, do you have any questions? Now the closing should lead to sealing of the deal, not lead to more questions. The closing is sealing the deal. Catchy? So we have full eye contact. You can have slogans. By all means, use gestures. Let your hands speak. Let your hands speak. When you talk about this is defensive. You're protecting your vital organs. Why? What do you think? What harm will you come to? So don't stand like a bodyguard. So you're either being defensive or you're being aloof. This is submission, which is good, but you cannot be like this throughout. Some speakers begin like this to submit. You know this is how the army stand when the commander-in-chief is going round. This is submission. But you cannot submit like this throughout. You can't use this. This is the ultimate. I am so naked in front of you. I am so exposed. It's called the fig leaf position. Fig leaf. Because when Adam and Eve discovered they were naked, they had a fig leaf. And where did they cover? the place that makes them feel the most exposed. I think we can also call it the penalty position. But, and you've seen that people are called, I'll now introduce my team, so can they all come up here? And they come like this. Feeling so exposed. Then they start like this. I think they'll be eaten up by the audience. And we said we're acting, so you do feel exposed, you do feel naked in front of them, you do feel like they can see right through you, but then you don't make that public knowledge. Your nerves are private. So this is the feeling position. Whenever you feel, okay, so good morning, we feel sorry for you. Don't also have what we call the penguin. So your hands are on this side because you don't know what to do with them. However, you continue to do your gestures. And all the gestures are below the wrist. So what are we saying here? We're saying that if we're going to continue doing this, something has to change. Because as a company, what we have found is sometimes, like there was a time last week when somebody came to the office. So you continue doing the gestures down here, but your arms are stiff. So that avoid that penguin look. So work on your body language so that your body language can communicate, as we said, confidence, composure, and comfort. That's what your body language should communicate. Mae West, a famous American actress, said, I speak two languages, English and body. One study that is quoted over and over communicates that 55% of your speaking is your body language, 38% is your tone of voice. You must smile. No matter how bad it is, just smile even if it's at the hello place. When you're saying hello and you're saying goodbye, just soften your face a little bit. The best position is, if you're not going to use your hands, let them just hang where God put them, but hang lightly. Don't penguin yourself. Let them just hang lightly. And it's just natural, and they can just remain there, just hang. It feels weird, but actually that's the most natural place you can put your hands, if you're not using them. If you need to use your hands, then they need to come up into the air. Don't restrain. That's what people do so that nothing moves. Don't put everything together so they don't fall apart. But the natural way is to speak in a conversational tone of voice. So I'm speaking to you not as I am here and you are there, but we are having a dialogue. We are discussing. And the hands-on experience? I'm using the text. So when you have a conversational tone of voice, you find your hands know what to do when you're speaking. It's very comfortable. It looks confident. It's not closed. This can be a bit closed. Hello. So yes, it's a bit cool. Yeah. It's closed. But the steeple, whether you're standing or you're seated, for those who watch Shark Tanks, there was one program where all the sharks were like this. Ladies, when you have your hair on your face and you keep pushing it back, not like that, gentlemen. So now, and then also, like there's a time when, but these things happen because, and you keep pushing your hair back, and there's a lady who was saying, so the thing is with this, when this happened, she's actually blowing her hair. But 16, there are very many, as I said. Audience engagement is a course you can study at the university. Is give the audience some chores. You can tell them to keep time. You can tell them to turn to their friend and tell them how nice they are, or shake their friend's hand, or compliment their friend. You can tell them to stand and stretch. You can tell them to write down something.